keeps it blazing. Cause I can read between the lines, I ain't blind. We unwind what they're really saying, genetically modify what you're tasting. Don't need that college promise, so now you live up in your mom's basement. Redesign time so your mind is always wasted. Programmed to crave the basics, keep the beta in stasis. Pay the state, kid, you're in debt for being born. Messengers are more than just the price for being warned. Don't be alarmed, disconnect from their machinations. Stop subscribing to the folly of own nations. Bone breaking ain't the answer, cause they seek the ownership of souls. Spread the seeds and watch them grow. Break the chains of control. Break the chains of control.
Sweet eternal balance of all that is good, true, and beautiful, friends. This is your Tuesday night episode of Rogue Ways, and Sue Finelli was first in the chat. What's up, Sue Finelli? It's good to see you. Green hearts with the green shirt, with the green bandana. It's a green kind of day for y'all out there. And I probably didn't update the stream. I just realized, so who knows what it says the title is. But what we're actually going to talk about today is some recent, news type stuff. Some big things happening in our supposedly presidential election. Allegedly presidential, allegedly election time coming up. And of course, before I show you guys those things, I like to remind you where you can find me and support me, because it is so awesome when you guys can support me. It is really, really helpful. The cost of supporting the site and the cost of supporting the audio files is a bit, it's not so much, but every little bit helps, of course. And then of course I can justify keeping, this all going as Rogue Ways, as a thrice weekly show, if I get a little bit back for it. So it's really, really cool. And I've been getting a lot of love on the site lately. And so I think that that's awesome that people are checking that out. So what's up, Amanda Young in the house? And of course there's some other people watching who haven't said hello yet, but they're there. You're there. They're there. And while I'm remembering, just so you guys know, actually, yeah, before we do that, let me remind you that, I'll tell you for the first time, this Thursday I usually would do a show at 7 p.m. I'm not going to do a show this Thursday because my love's birthday is this Thursday, and so we are going to be celebrating his birthday instead, and so I won't get back home in time to do that. If I happen to, I'll hop on and say what's up to you guys, and if not, there just won't be a show. I might do a best of Rogue Ways, so there might still be something playing on the channel that you can check out, and especially if you're new, it'll be something you probably haven't seen yet from way back, because even really, really early on Rogue Ways, we had some big names and cool people and awesome interviews happen. So I'll probably pick one of those to play for y'all on Thursday as the best of Rogue Ways rewind, and look at the past. And then this Sunday, I'm super excited actually, because this Sunday I have someone coming on the show who is I don't even think I want to call her, what do I want to call her? What would she call herself? Let's just say she's an intuitive, she's a psychic, and she works really, really well with animals. So she communicates with animals, and I know there's a lot of people out there who pretend to do this and who are just charlatans. And I, as you guys know, am the skeptic. People have to convince me, even though there's things that I think normies would look at me and say, like, that is crazy. She's, wild. Her ideas are way out there. For me, I came to them all through, the scientific method, and through skepticism, and through needing them to trying to disprove them to myself, and then realizing that I couldn't. And I'm an intelligent person, so the things that I come to, they've been vetted by me, and this person passes the test absolutely. She definitely has communication going on. She's intuitive, psychic, or whatever you want to call it. And so it's going to be a really fun episode, because you guys will get to submit your pets, your animals that you want to know. What are they thinking? What do they maybe want to tell me? As well as hear her awesome story, which is so cool. So I'm really excited about Sunday's show. I doubt that many of you have heard of this person, but you will want to have. You'll be glad that you had learned about this person when you meet her. And so that'll be Sunday's show. Pet psychic, but like less lame than that. Like awesome, awesome person who's actually in touch with the spiritual energies going on in life. So that's coming up. So no show Thursday, except for maybe a best of Rogue Ways rerun, and then Sunday a really awesome psychic is going to be with us. and interactive. You'll be able to call in with your pets or just submit them to the chat, and she will be able to tell you stuff. I'm so excited. I'm excited to find out what my pets think and what they're saying. And I feel like I know, but it'll be really interesting to get this outside perspective. So super excited about this. Anyway, check out the site, CoreySharman.com, also rogueways.org. They are one and the same site. Lots of content here. People have been really loving Fuck Christianity. It's such an enticing title. It makes you want to click on it and find out what's going on there. So that's been getting a lot of hits lately. I think sometimes people drop these things in various like chat rooms and shit, and people just, start powering in, but it's really fun. It's really fun to see the traffic from day to day. And of course, you can navigate around older articles and poetry and stuff through this cloud at the bottom, the noosphere. And that's a tag cloud, so that'll get you all kinds of stuff. I'm very excited to be an affiliate for Phoenix Aurelius's lab and apothecary, and so you'll find links all over the site to get there. And if you go through my site to his, I get a tiny sliver of a percentage of that purchase, and that is awesome for both of us. And so please go do that. And right now, and going on for, oh my God, I think ever. I'm pretty sure this goes on forever. You guys, I forgot the coupon code. I'm finding it right now, but you have a percentage off of Rogue Ways through Phoenix Aurelius' site with a coupon. Man, how can I forget this coupon? It's not Rogue Ways. It's like Rogue Ways 15% or something. Let me make sure I'm going to paste it in the chat so that you know what it is. No. I'm so sorry I didn't have this ready ahead of time, but I just want you to have this. Okay. It's Going Rogue. Yes, that's the coupon. I'm going to paste it in the chat. If you want to purchase anything from Phoenix Aurelius, this includes classes, tinctures, spagyric remedy, literally anything that you can buy from his shop, you can get 15% off with that coupon code, Going Rogue. So please go through my site to his site and purchase what you want with that code. I even get the 15% off. I'm super excited. So I've already been buying stuff lately. And I would go show you, I just have to show you really quick. I'm not actually trying to do a commercial for Phoenix Aurelius, but this is really cool. If you go to media, first of all, and go to tools and resources, and you see the energy tools for self-healing. If you add that to your cart and use another coupon code that is just Rogue Ways, all one word, then that's free. That's free. You don't even need the 15% off because it's free. But also, in the featured products area of the apothecary, he always has his newest arrivals. So this pomegranate spagyric tincture, the blood orange spagyric tincture, the ginger spagyric tincture, the wild harvested rosehip spagyric tincture, and the wild blueberry spagyric tincture. Those are all automatically, what is it? I think 15% off already, and then you get another 15% off with the coupon Going Rogue, and that's because they're new arrivals. Every time he does a first batch of something, he gives people a little discount on it. So I got the ginger and the wild blueberry. Super awesome. If you click on them and you read about what they're supposed to help, you can kind of choose the ones that might be good for you. So anyway, I just wanted to show you guys those things. And those are available to you. Going Rogue. What's up, Vanguard of Truth? Nice to see you back tonight. Mateo is here. Nice to see you, Mateo. Yeah, I'm really excited about this Sunday. If you guys weren't here and you didn't hear that, that Pet Psychic is going to be on. I hate saying that because I feel like it belittles what she actually does. She's actually an intuitive who can communicate with your pets. It's amazing. So I also want to point out you can buy my published works here. You can actually just link to them to Amazon and buy them there. Sometimes I'll have some for sale in the shop that are like bundled for you from me specifically, but otherwise you buy them through Amazon. Sine Curve of Aeon's my first novel. The sequel is just right. It's just there's a hair's breadth between us and it being published. It's coming so soon. Just wait. A Gypsy on the Res, my memoir about teaching on a Native American reservation, and Immutable Realia, my collection of poetry that I released at one time. And of course, tarot readings. I love giving tarot readings. I just gave another super awesome one today. It was an amazing reading in itself. I've never had a bad reading. People are always floored by the reading. They're always surprised. They're always very grateful for it. It's a huge gift to yourself to get yourself a reading. The 10 card layout is the way to go. It is $60. That might seem like a lot to some people, but you think about it, I have 20 years of experience reading with this exact deck that you see pictured here, the Handel deck. I am also somewhat of a, intuitive and psychic myself, so I see the relationships, and I just, the messages from your higher self and your spiritual allies comes through pretty clearly to me, and so it's really easy for me to share with you the messages that you're getting through this reading and what it might mean for you. And so it's worth it. You also it's an hour one-on-one with me. You get a follow-up, which is a written summary of the entire reading. You get a picture of the reading, and you also get a video of the reading. So the package deal and the amount of spiritual preparation I put in ahead of time and afterwards is, it's definitely worth your time and your money. So check that out. And as always, you can grab all kinds of stuff in the shop to support me and Rogue Ways. And the thing I like to point out recently is all of the orgone and orgonite pendants and plaques that I have created that you can buy. The plaques are these sort of bigger pieces that you see, and the pendants are these smaller little pendants. There's all kinds of designs and all kinds of shapes and sizes and all kinds of prices, so I'm sure you can find some orgone that is good for you. So that's the site. As always, please support me on subscribestar.com/rogue-ways at any level. I appreciate all of your support. And finally, I agree. It's not a bad price. It is real. There's a lot of tarot readers out there that are, they're cool. It's fine. Everybody's at a different place, but, they're not as adept or advanced, perhaps you could say, and so it's still cool to do. And the other thing I would warn is going with any random person. There's possible attachments and energies that might come through if they don't know how to protect and ward, or if you don't know, they're not doing it for you. You just want to, mine is safe. I'll just put that out there. Mine is safe. So that makes it worth it as well. And yeah, $60 for a 10 card. The 20 card, some people lean towards. Sorry to just go back for a second, but I want to point out that the $20 one, the 4 card layout, it's almost always disappointing. It's cheaper, and so you want to do it, but and I'm not saying this to make money. I'm saying this because it's genuinely it gives you just the hints. It's the past, present, and future, and then you're like, okay, so where's the details? Whereas the 10 card goes into every aspect of a situation, so it really is worth it to do just the 10 card layout. But I'll tell you this too. If you got a $20, we did the 3 card, and you wanted more in the moment, we could do a modified. You could send me the extra money. We could do a modified additional extension on that reading and make it a 10 card. So we could figure that out if we wanted to. But anyways, back to the subject of the night, which is that Joe Biden has picked Kamala Harris for vice president. This was hinted all along. I feel like everyone knew it was coming. He had his little secret notebook, and he was like, oops, I accidentally showed that I was writing about her for vice president. She was just talked about. She was a media little darling or whatever, and so here it is. We knew it was coming. I feel like there was other hints as well, which we'll get into. But yeah, that's what happened. Now it's Kamala Harris. So, what the most important things about her are that she has boobs, a vagina, and darker than white skin. Those are the things that made Joe Biden pick her. We know this because he said, I'm going to pick a woman of color for my vice president. So that's what he did. Those were the most important qualifications. Of course, people are saying all the things that she's supposedly done and whatever. And the really depressing thing for me is that this will work, and there will be so many people who are like, oh my God, it'd be so amazing to have a woman of color as a vice president. We're all obsessed with race right now, and that's all that anyone cares about is genitalia and skin color. And so it'll work. She'll, I think, get a lot of votes for Joe. And that's why he did it, right? His mind doesn't work, but the people running him, their minds apparently work. So it's not a bad choice in that regard. They're crafty with their bullshit. Vanguard of Truth says he'll probably sniff her hair all day in the White House. Yeah, maybe, except I think he'll die and she'll be our president. So that's terrifying because she's a psychopath. And more importantly, she is possessed by a demon. I don't know who missed this. I didn't. But that, when I saw this video of her, I was like, that doesn't even look like her. And I don't know if you've ever seen somebody with an entity attachment or strong entity influence on them at the moment, but they look like a different person. And so I instantly was like, she has demons. And she probably always did, right? But I'm guessing that this interview that she did where she turned from regular Kamala to demon Kamala, I'm guessing that was sort of almost her, like, debut as, like, fully meshed with the demon that's controlling all these people or influencing all these people. So this is not a doctored photo. Again, I don't know if you saw the live video. I'm about to play some of it for you, but it was pretty disturbing to see her. And of course, all the normies are like, Kamala Harris had plastic surgery. It's like, plastic surgery doesn't turn your eyeballs black, and it doesn't make you look like a demon. So pretty sure that's not what it was. But let's just look at this video and see what I haven't watched this specific video, but I'm guessing it will show how fucked up it is.
Part of this conversation
That's her
really
before.
is about reimagining how we do public safety in America.
He was a living saint, and now he will be obviously among our most honored ancestors.
Like, wow, stop it. Right then, where I paused it when she looks up, she actually does have some white left in her eyes, but you can't really tell the rest of the time, and even her voice is a bit different.
To achieve safety, you put more cops on the street. Instead of understanding to achieve safe and healthy communities, you put more...
You know, I would sit and talk with John, and he was, you know, the quiet...
Like, you could say all sorts of things. You could say she had plastic surgery, you could say it's the lighting, you could say whatever you want, but if you are like me, again, and you've seen this before, like, that's demonic influence if I ever saw it. So, could be wrong. She could just be a fucking freak. I don't know, it could be a little of both, but it's pretty sick. It's pretty freaky, and I'm scared to have a demon as our president, which is I think what might happen. I mean, we all know both sides of the fucking bird, left and right, are flying in the same direction. We all know that probably, very, very likely, all evidence points to yes, that anybody who gets to that high of a level is compromised and probably working with entities that are darker and all of that. We all know that, but it's a different story to, like, see the possession in action, you know, for me at least. I'm like, that's scary, and I feel like this is sort of signaling to the world and to everyone who knows that, like, yep, I took the final plunge, here I am, like, I'm your puppet now. And so that's how I took this, and this was a little while, this was a couple weeks ago, I want to say, like, maybe even a month ago. And so the second I saw this video, I said, she's going to be the vice president. That was her deal. She was like, I'll be your vice president. And they were like, well, you have to, like, do this thing where you, like, eat babies and fuck them and then get this demon in you. Are you cool with that? And she was like, yeah, why not? I've done way worse shit in my life, so let's do it. That's what I feel like happened. What's up, Howie Dunn? Nice to see you here. Let's see what else this video shows us.
Conversations that we would have. He was always so encouraging.
I don't know. I guess that's enough. You see how just sick she looks. If you want to find this video, search for Kamala Harris's face before and after plastic surgery. Or before and after demonic possession. Like, this person agrees with me. Okay, cool. They know. Anyway, that's my concern. And then also that we've been getting all this telegraphing through various aspects of the media that Trump is going to get assassinated soon, including that he said this the other day, that he has some powerful enemies that are after him, that this might be the last time that we would see him for a while. You know, and then people have been talking about it. We've got that Simpsons episode where he's laying in the casket. And then we also have, I don't know why I didn't pull this up, but yesterday we had that shooting at the White House where he was whisked off the stage during the press conference that he was doing, which again is probably all staged, you know. That's probably the whole point, is that they want it to affect us. We have to see him getting whisked off the stage. They can't just say there was a person who tried to get on the White House or tried to make threats and got shot. It's much more dramatic if we see him whisked away. So he got whisked away.
100 And the Dow Jones are going to be, I mean, the way they're going, it looks like they're just about going to be topping records hopefully soon. Excuse me?
So again, it's not that dramatic looking, but at the same time, in our psyches, we're like, oh shit, something's happening. What's happening? So I guess this man, Myron Basil Berryman, there's always 3 names when it's a fucking, like, assassination attempt or whatever, right? Anyway, Forestville, Maryland, was arrested on charges of assaulting a law enforcement officer. According to the Metropolitan Police Department, he remained hospitalized with critical injuries. So some scuffle happened and he got shot by Secret Service. And so this adds to that whole idea that he might get assassinated, especially by Big Pharma, who we know assassinates a lot of people. So even for like the mainstream normie, this is easy to imagine. But you don't usually get this sort of telegraphing unless they want us, to accept it and be ready for it and, swallow it more easily when it comes down the line. And finally, what's up, Austin Beach? You made it. Yes. Yeah, in Vanguard of Truth, you're right. He says, I really feel like he will be assassinated or they'll just hide him. And it's totally possible it will just be a fake assassination, even if it happens. It's possible that all of the assassinations were fake. So there's no reason to think this one would be real. But it's absolutely likely at that point that we would then definitely get a demon for president. We all know Biden, that's another thing they've been telegraphing, is that Biden is older, he's frail, he's trying to like put up the fight like he's like not frail and weak and in the mind especially, but I don't think it's really convincing anyone. But they've done such a good job of being like the never Trump derangement that people are going to vote for him anyway. But now we have that, again, that sort of telegraphing that, like, well, he might fail, he might be weak, he might die, and then this would be our president, this demonic woman whose biggest attribute is that she has tits, a vagina, and darker than white skin. Again, I'm not saying that about her. I'm saying that's what the Democratic Party views her as, and also the Democratic voters view her as. Because if you looked at her history, you'd be like, wow, she's imprisoned more black people than like anyone else, and she has had all of these policies, and she's apparently this very controlling, like, sexual deviant in her offices and whatnot. So she seems like a piece of shit, but they all do. Yeah. It is a clown show. It is all staged. Absolutely. And that doesn't mean that it's not worrisome. Like, this is worrisome. It all is, but it gets a bit worse when you're just like, hi, I'm openly a demon and I'm going to be your president. You're like, oh, I guess shit's really that bad at this point, isn't it? So anyways, I just also thought it was interesting that there's people who are supposedly psychics, who supposedly have, predictions that have been real. And I don't know. I don't follow this person, so I can't actually say that, but it's supposedly this person does have some predictions that are true. And so this is actually last year, and they thought Trump would be assassinated this fall, and by this fall they meant last fall. But I also had something that I was sort of told was going to happen last fall and didn't. And so I'm wondering if it actually meant this fall, and that's part of why this caught my eye too. I'm like, I wonder if we both had the wrong fall. We were being warned like way ahead of time, but it was actually this fall. So could be that it all happens at once. We get wave 2 of corona / 5G sickness. We get vaccination that's forced. They've also been telegraphing that they're going to imprison people who don't take the vaccine because of public health crisis or danger or whatever. They're a danger to people, so they have to imprison them, which will possibly also lead to like massive like fighting and death, because a lot of people with guns don't want the vaccine. So that could all be going on at the same time that Trump gets shot, and then we get this demon for a prize. It'll be a pretty crazy time if that's what all goes down. It'll be crazy. So I don't know. I don't want to like be doom and gloom and say this is all what's going to happen. I'm just saying it's just interesting to look at the signs and what they seem to be telegraphing might happen. He thinks it's going to be an Arab or Hispanic type of person who does the shooting. he goes into all these details. I don't really care. I just thought it was interesting that, you know, he might be right. This was, again, a year before Trump ever said that he has powerful enemies that might attack him or whatever. But that's really all I wanted to show you guys, because I didn't have a lot to talk about tonight, but I wanted to make it known that Kamala Harris is a demon if you didn't already know that before. She's at least attached, heavily influenced by, and possessed by a demonic entity at this point. Probably, again, always was influenced by those entities and energies. If you're that high up, you know, you're gonna be, I think. I think that's pretty obvious, but I also wanted to pull a card and see if it can give us any additional information about this possible clownish election and this possible demonic woman as our VP, and the possible interactions with what might be coming and what they have planned for the virus and all whatnot in the fall. Let's just pick a general card about the fall and see what it might tell us. I think I didn't shuffle well enough. I'm going to do that now. Austin Beach says, I really want to just mount loudspeakers on my car and drive around playing the circus theme all the time. It would be fitting. It's like the theme song to 2020. Is that... The digital apparition. That guy's hot. You didn't know. He makes the music to this show. The intro music, the exit music, all of it is done by him. He says, my favorite was when Tulsi bodied her in the debates. It's all bullshit, but that was brutal. Dude, I didn't even know they let Tulsi, like, show her head anywhere. I thought they hid her away in a dark, dark closet. Vanguard of Truth says, I firmly believe we have spiritual psychics, vampires working against us, and that's why spiritual people like you have to fight with white magic. Absolutely. That's my whole purpose for existing. And yours, likely. If you see that and you know that, that's you too. Sorry, I'm silent for a second. I'm picking a card. Well, I guess it's obvious, but this is the card for the fall, which is power. It's the 9. It's reversed for you. I'm sorry. I'm still my screen is reversed. But anyway, it's the 9 of wands, and the card is called power. And the wands are a fiery, masculine, energetic, high motion, high energy sort of suit in general. The number 9, of course, is that frickin' number. It's the, you know, predecessor to completion. You know, we got 10 as sort of the, like, the 1 and the 0, the masculine and the feminine, the, like, God number, the sort of ultimate number, and 9 is the previous card to that. So power, of course, can be good. This energy and this fire and these wands can be positive. If we had that energy for ourselves, you know, we would be, like, really hitting our goals. We'd be, like, moving quickly towards them. We'd be effective, you know, and able to sort of cut through any sort of shit. And we see this for the fall. I take it a bit more like people are grabbing power. They're holding power. They're going to use that power. And so that also makes me think possibly this Democratic candidate might be the one. They're the ones that seem very, very poised, or at least presented to us as the power-hungry side. Even though we know it's the same bird and we know it's all staged, this is still how it's being presented, right? So yeah, I don't know. That's how I kind of take this. And it might not be that, but either way, I'd say it's a like grabbing of the power by whoever into a more firm grip of it. So again, probably pretty obvious with any election you're going to have power at play, but there's that. And then I want to also do a quick God shot in the symbol book. She probably is a succubus, Howie Dunn. At least the entity attached to her might be succubus-ish. No, I don't think so. I think it's a masculine. It's the incubus, perhaps. I don't know. I think it's even more powerful than that. I think those guys are sort of like little kids compared to the big hitters. But anyway, tell us what I think about Marina Abramovich. Oh, she's that woman is awful. She's obviously very demonic too. I know there's people who are like, oh, that's all just like, that's because you have like a Christian outlook and whatever. I'm like, no, maybe, sure. I do have that background in my life. And so I do like have, you know, that's in me, but also that's not how I view the world. And if I saw Marina Abramovich walk into a room, I'm positive I would walk out of the room as quickly as possible. And I tell people this was from a time where I was not at all Christian. I walked into the room of my friends were all hanging out at a house, and they're like, come on, let's like probably smoke weed or whatever we were doing. I was like, cool, and I like came over and I opened the door and I looked in and like said hi to everyone. And I realized there's a guy I've never seen. I look at him and I get like the worst. He had a black aura, which I had never seen before. I'd seen all kinds of colors, all sorts of combinations. I'd seen some like grays and browns, which felt sort of like icky and bad. But I'd never seen black, not even a tinge of black, like no black at all in anyone. It's a very rare color to see in an aura, but it was black aura, and I was like, ugh, and I just left the room. It just so happens that man was also black-skinned, brown-skinned, and there were not a lot of brown and black-skinned people around my island. We had, like, some, but just very few. It was a very white place that I grew up, and everyone, of course, not everyone, but a couple people were like, why are you so racist? And I was like, dude, I'm not fucking racist. That guy is evil. And they're like, you can't just say that. You don't know him. I'm like, dude, I can say that because I saw his fucking aura and it's black. And they're like, his skin's black. You're just racist. I'm like, dude, never mind. Like, you go hang out with him. I'm not ever going to be in the same area as that person ever. And that guy ended up, it's fucking horrible, molesting this small child. When the small child told her mother and her mother took the child away from him, he chased them and he killed the mom's mother, that child's grandmother, and shot the child's uncle and his girlfriend and then killed himself. That's black aura for you. So when I see that shit, I know what it means and I leave. I don't have anything to do with that person, and I'm positive, even though I've never met Marina Abramovich in real life, that she has a black aura. And if she doesn't have a black aura, it's because she has a light aura, like a white aura. And people with white auras are almost always really master energy workers, and they can block you from seeing their aura. So I don't trust white auras either. And she probably has a white aura. She probably has a white aura, and she's probably blocking her black aura from being seen. But you can feel that shit even if you can't see it. You don't have to see it. You can feel it in your gut. So I'm guessing she has that. All of her stupid, pierce your finger and eat the pain, painting with blood, feces, and semen. I mean, this shit is just not normal. If you had this before it was, like, capable of being perceived as art, then she would just be mentally ill. And she would be rejected by people because it's not normal to paint with feces, blood, and semen. And it's not healthy, and it's not a sign of wellness, and it's not a sign of good adjustment to the world. It's not a sign of emotional wellness. It's not a sign of spiritual achievement. Like, it's a sign of the opposite of all those things. And that's what Marina Abramovich does. Lady Gaga talks about her being like her frickin' leader or whatever, her guru, and how she like followed her. And she talks about how shortly after that she got really fucking confused in her mind and like fucked up, and but also that she like reached higher levels, and that sounded all pretty bad. I wouldn't want that kind of a leader or a guru or person that I followed. But I loved when Marina Abramovich had like her joint work with like Microsoft or whatever at their like art exhibit, where they did like a 3D immersion with VR goggles and shit. People would put the VR goggles on and she'd be there like coming towards them and like doing fucking spirit cooking probably and shit. And people, and they like did the video and they released it or whatever. And of course it's hosted on YouTube. So on YouTube, this video, I don't know if you guys remember this, this was not that long ago, but it had like 10,000 dislikes and like only 1,000 likes. And that's not even normal for like anything that's controversial. Even controversial shit might have like 5,000 and 5,000 or something, but like it was like the vast majority of people were like, fuck this shit, fuck that bitch, she's a demonic whore. All the comments were like calling it out, like, why the fuck is Microsoft pairing up with a demon witch, like shit spirit cooker woman or whatever? Like, it was so cool. It was so cool. And this is another reason that one of the things that has given me hope recently is that many people have seen her and know her for what she is and went to call her out. Like, that gave me a lot of hope, because a lot of times if you even bring it up, you'd just be like, oh, that crazy fucking conspiracy theorist or whatever. And it's like, dude, she paints with shit and blood. There's something wrong with that bitch. So, yeah, that's what I think of Marina Abramovich. Thanks for asking. That's all you need to say about her. But whatever forces that bitch is working with are clearly in cahoots with Bill Gates if she's working with Microsoft, right? And probably in cahoots with Kamala Harris. And I know people don't like it when I say it, so I won't say the name anymore, but we know the name of that entity. It's been said on past episodes of Rogue Ways, Phoenix Aurelius, and I found it on a live IDF investigation. If you want to go back and watch any of the Phoenix Aurelius episodes, you can probably find out. And I also said it a lot since then, because I want people to know, because I want to know that people out there who know how to work with white magic effectively against dark magic, or really, understand how to do suppression magic or banishment magic safely, I want them to know the name so that they can help us do that, because that's not the type of work I do. I do totally different work. I do a lot of protection work. I do a lot of like banishment type of stuff, but it's not for that. It's not for that level of entity and that level of reach. It's for, like, little tricksters that might be fucking with you in your home and stuff. So I'm just on a different plane than that. So I want, if you know people who work in that realm, tell them to talk to me if they want to know the name and you don't know it yet, but I think you all know it if you've been listening to this show. But yeah, ritualist. She's their ritualist. That's a good way to describe it. She probably leads most of the rituals. Or teaches them even, right? Because a lot of these people, I think, I don't know, they start dabbling in shit. It doesn't mean they know what's going on, and she seems like she's got her hands on the reins pretty tightly. But yeah, what's up, Combine Elite? Do I have any Turkish friends? I do have some Turkish friends. What a random question. I totally do. I lived in Turkey for a year in Istanbul. Vanguard of Truth says people can't see magic, but their shit is real. It's like a battle of Middle Earth on a different plane of reality. Yeah, people who don't realize that this is a spiritual battle, I don't know what to say to you. Like, it is. Our bodies are the least important part. The objects around us are the least important thing. Like, this is a spiritual battle going on, and we're caught right in the middle of it. We are at the exact center of all of it. Energetically, we're in the middle. Physically, we're in the middle. Spiritually, we're in the middle. And you, whoever you are out there listening, watching, playing along, you are an integral part of the battle, whether you know it or not. But if you start to know it, then that gives it a little bit more weight and effectiveness. And if you start to do it on purpose, that gives it a lot more weight and effectiveness. And you can choose your side. You can choose your side, and you can choose to place your power specifically in that side's balance. Tip the scales, if you will. I just opened the Symbols book. Symbols, a dictionary to symbols by Sir Lot. Again, I'm sorry, it's backwards. You guys have seen me do God shots with this book before. Last time was rad. Last time we got all into Mandorlas and Gemini, and it was super, super synchronistic. Today I just opened it randomly to key. Key. As an attribute, the key pertains to several mythic characters, including Hecate. It is symbolic of mystery or enigma, or of a task to be performed and the means of carrying it out. It sometimes refers to the threshold of the unconscious. The key to knowledge corresponds within the cycle of the year to the month of June, or healing. Interesting. I didn't know that it could. I wonder if that's because Chiron is in June or something. I don't know, because Chiron, if you don't know, the Chiron is the asteroid. It's an astrological symbol that would be in your astrology chart and whatnot, and Chiron is like in the shape of a key almost. All right, the conjunction of the symbols of the male dove and the key signifies the spirit opening the gates of heaven. The emblem formed by two keys, sometimes placed over a heart, relates to Janus. Janus is a moon of Jupiter? Correct me if I'm wrong. In legend and folklore, 3 keys are often used to symbolize a like number of secret chambers full of precious objects. They are a symbolic representation of initiation and knowledge. The first key of silver concerns what can be revealed by psychological understanding. The second key is made of gold and pertains to philosophical wisdom. The third and last of diamond confers the power to act. Wow, these keys I've heard of before, but I've never really heard of them presented in that exact way, or with those, or as specifically with that progression of silver, gold, diamond. But it is actually in one of my favorite books ever, which is The Neverending Story. And I won't ruin it for you in case you want to read it, but that's interesting. That book is full of occult and esoteric information in the form of a children's book that is in no way a children's book. It's way too deep for that. It's not traumatic. If you were going to read it to a kid, it'd be fine. But it's not a kid's book at all. All right, the finding of a key signifies the stage prior to the actual discovery of the treasure, found only after great difficulties. Clearly, there is a morphological relationship between a key and the Nem Ankh, the cross with the, eternal life symbol in Egyptian. That those two things, they do have a similar shape, don't they? Eternal life and the key to eternal life. The answerated cross of the Egyptians is the Ankh, which is similar to the key. Their gods are sometimes shown holding this cross by the top as if it were a key, especially in ceremonies concerning the dead. But it should perhaps be pointed out that in this case, it is the keys that derive from the answerated cross, the archetype of the key of eternal life that opens up the gates of death on to immortality. I need to read that sentence again. But it should perhaps be pointed out that in this case, it is the keys that derive from the answerated cross, the archetype of the key of eternal life, that opens up the gates of death onto immortality. So that shape somehow actually contains the key to immortality, to the gates of death. But it also says it opens the gates of heaven. I don't know, man. It sounds bad to me. I don't want the key to open the gates of heaven or the gates of death. I think they're probably gates for a reason. I don't know. I don't know how that connects with what we're talking about either. But that was the thing I opened to. 3 keys: silver, gold, and diamond. Even if I was trying to relate it to alchemy. Silver, gold, and diamond. I guess silver would be blue, gold would be white. No? Yeah, it doesn't. I don't know if it relates to alchemy either. It's not lead and gold, it's silver, gold, and diamond. Well, that was the symbol of the day. Last time it connected so perfectly together. This time we had the card of power for fall and this key that's in triplicate and somehow relates to the Ankh of eternal life. And something about silver to gold to diamond, which is the progression, right? You can rewind. You absolutely can rewind if you're watching this live. Yeah, it was silver was psychological, gold was philosophical, and diamond was spiritual. I guess that's just the progression that we all go through. We start with thinking it through. We're silver. We get on to wondering what it all means and what it could be. That's the philosophical gold. And then we get on to the actual spiritual truth, embodying it and being it, and that's diamond. Yeah, someone smarter than me can break that down even better, but I am gonna call it a night. Sorry the show is so short. Hopefully you enjoyed it anyway. I want to go play with my chickens, so I'm gonna go do that. I got so much zucchini out of the garden yesterday. I got a bunch of green beans. I pickled them. I'm gonna pickle them and have pickled green beans. I put some red onion and some oh my god, balsamic vinegar in there with it, and that I think is going to be really good. Hopefully. I've never tried it, so we'll see. But the chickens want to go play in the garden with me, and so we're going to go do that before it gets dark and they need to go to bed. And so just remember, you know, we've got a bunch of really heavy demonic influences coming really out in the open more and more all the time. And Kamala Harris, I think, represents this as well. I'd love to do an etymological breakdown on her entire name. Maybe someone else has already done it. But, you know, I'm sure we can find all sorts of stuff there because she's pretty awful. And I feel like this is all pointing to her being our president soon, probably by like February or something. So we'll see. It's pretty depressing, but it all is, right? No matter which way they went. So we'll see how it all plays out together. And I just always remember, like, again, this is a spiritual experience. This is a spiritual, even if you don't want to think about it as a battle, whatever. It's a spiritual experience we're having here, even though we have bodies. That's not what we are, right? And I just like to remember and bring it back to that, because sometimes this shit gets really heavy. Sometimes it gets really hard to deal with and depressing. Sometimes you're just so stuck because you're so fearful of what might come, and that can be very overwhelming and very, you know, it can stop you dead in your tracks, and now you're not doing anything at all, you're not living. And so I just want to remember, I want you to remember, I want us all to remember that we are spiritual beings, and that is more important, and that outlasts our body, and that everything we do here matters immensely because of that. We're all growing our spirits, we're all growing our spiritual connection to each other, and that's what we really want to focus on and work on, especially in dark times when demons are coming through and being put into places of power just openly like they are. So keep that heart up and open. Keep it connected to all that is good, true, and beautiful in the world. And until you can, keep shining that light, especially through the darkness that comes and gathers and tries to make itself seem like it's powerful and scary and dark, when really it's nothing and insignificant and trash. Then you should travel well, aim for balance, and always look inside first. Mwah.
Nasty motherfuckers with a hook and a sickle. Brought to you advertisement, bone plated nickel. Fire rate automatic smash from the get-go. Snack on the whack fermented flesh disco. Abracadabra, archaic altars don't slabber. Hey, making jabbers with reality backwards. Hunting rap nerds, bodyguard collected actors. Munitions are famished, let them feast upon the dapper. Bloody bibs and muddy kicks, feasting on amygdalas. Iron fist, tyrant shit, APO will rip you up. The rhyme rainmaker, vein style backbreaker. Genghis-Khan depleted uranium satellite lasers. Cloaked in anonymity, I know you never heard of me. No rusted tools used for Crowley style surgery.
Dissect a whole set, God body. God taught me to dissect the whole body. When it gets sloppy, I'ma get there. Rhymes rare like steak, get crushed like crates to create 52 states. And it's Baghdad, dust to towels, no rags. Straight melt dash, dust to ash. Turbans while the niggas perkin'. It's on purpose, my service touches the sun's surface, and rainbows touch serpents. My light all night shines so bright. I'm a star for eons, Hollywood's for peons, cause they try to copy the same shit we on. Hey, I ain't done yet, lungs depleted and can't breathe, can't believe it. Trying to seek it while trying to peep it, it's a secret. Now you're nobody, label somebody, trying to claim John Gotti. It's yours truly, God body.